Okay, we're moving right along on this. I hope to attach the braids on him today, but a good friend of mine sent me some photographs of his carving that he's working on along with us. And he asked me if I could do a little critique on it, not necessarily via video, but I always glad to help someone out if I can. I sent him a note and asked him if it would be all right if I use this in the video to show you problems that others might have and how you can go about correcting them. And he was gracious enough to say, sure, go ahead, you know. It'd be almost like going to a seminar. Well, I don't teach seminars, so I guess you could say this is sort of a mini seminar here. Anyway, he sent me some photographs here and asked me if I could suggest ways to improve it. So I will. So anyway, let's start with the overall bust. Okay, the first thing that I saw automatically was right here. This should be brought down to where it's parallel with the grain, or parallel with the edge of this wood right here. All right, did that pencil thing show up any? Huh?
While you were gone.
All right. On these here, don't be so deep on them. You want them to sort of flow, you know, start low or start deep here and then just flow out to where they're just a large curved area. I think that one of his problems is he's concentrating too much on the detail. The detail is fine, but don't overburden yourself with doing the detail. Yet, you want things to look natural. So these are all right, but they should start with like this one right in here. That's how they should start. This one should probably loop up to that one. And that one should go on up to that one. This one should loop down to the back. I hope you can see that. Yeah, that's a little better holding it up like that. Here, let me get this thing over here. Maybe I'll use this. It'd be better to put it on. Excuse me, Judy. So anyway, that should loop up like that. That should loop up like that. But by the time it gets up here, this area should be pretty well rounded like that. Okay? These should just be a very thin line here, like that. Like I said earlier, when you do this, start deep and just run it out. When you're bringing these edges down, run them in like that. It sort of creates a division. And another thing that first caught my eye was the shoulder right here. See how it's drooped? Really, a person's shoulder, anatomically, comes across like this, and then comes down to the sleeve. And your fringes look much more better if they come out like that. Now, even on mine here, I could have done a better job of my fringes. They come out a little, but I'd prefer they come out a little bit more. So I'm actually going to go back, because of his picture here alerted me to that, and kind of scoop out this back edge so I can get this curve. It just makes it look so much better. All right? Now, on the beaded strip, I think that should be thicker, like that. The choker, this line here should be brought in some. The shape of his choker was fine. And this here, the choker should slant up towards the neck a little. See how mine slants a little up to the neck? It just creates a more pleasing look. Anyway, that's what I would do on that part. Now, on the face, let me get rid of this here. I'll do a blow-up of it so I can explain it a little bit clearer. Now, these are just my opinions. If you don't agree with me, hey, that's fine. I don't care. You have your own opinions. On his face, I told him that when he sent these pictures, that I was really surprised at how much better this piece is so far than he's done in the past, because he always shows me what he's working on. I was really surprised and pleased to see what he's done, especially up in this area right up here. Now the jaw down here needs some work. If you can look at this picture, here's his cheekbone, and it really goes in here. If you've ever seen a jaw, just feel on your face. You can feel that right there. There's flesh, but take away that flesh a little, and there's nothing under that area, this area right in here, but bone, because your teeth go back there. This is the skull, basically. It comes down, curves in like that, and comes down like that, the upper part. The lower part starts up here, comes down like that, like that. And this area right here is what causes that deep turn. So he's got the upper part here. What I would suggest he do is curve this in more. Bring that in more. Bring his jawline down like that. That will improve that a lot. And this may be kind of a lot to ask for, but what I would do is looking at the profile of this piece here. See how this area here sticks out up here? That's just too much. I would cut that back. I would shave back this whole front. I would bring it back. Keep that lower lip, not keep this lip, but right here. See, you can see this flesh right in here goes back into that lip, when actually it should come down like that instead of going like that. I hope that's understandable. That line should come down. He might not ever speak to me again, I hope not. But this jaw is too strong by my way of thinking. That he should cut that off. And bring this chin, a sharp chin line. That's too sharp, and I'm going to show you here in a minute what I'm talking about you can do. Don't be afraid to change things on a carving. Now, this looks fine from the front. I like that. It really looks good. but this looks not so fine. So what I'm going to do here, as soon as I put on my glove, and I do this constantly when I'm carving. Since I got these photographs, I actually went back and worked on my face because I could see things, the mistakes that he made here, and looking at my piece, I could see that I was making the same mistakes up there. But here we have this Indian, he has this jutting jaw. Now you could get by with that, but it don't look good. So what I'm going to do is just take it off. There's enough wood there that I can do that without worrying about it so much. It already looks better. But I'm just trying to demonstrate, don't be afraid. You know, it's just wood. You got another piece of wood laying down there. If you think something is looking bad, well, keep the piece you're working on as a go-by and do another head. All right, looks better already by my way of thinking. So let's just make these marks here again. The only way you can really learn is by doing things over and over and over and over and over again. And even after you do that, it might not be as good as you think it ought to be. And if that's the case, then go do it over again. Because each time you do it over again, you're learning some more. You're learning a way to do it better. His mouth's a little crooked, but that's all right. I'm not bothered, people. I've got a crooked mouth. I look at myself in the mirror, or someone takes a photograph of me and my mouth drifts off to one side, I'm always wondering, just, I wonder if other people see that in me. And I'm sure they do. So far they haven't said anything about it, or I'd really get worried. So anyway, my friend helped me out by showing me that giving me a little bit of humbleness. Even I make mistakes, so thanks for helping me out on my head. It did help. So getting back to this, anyway, I think that looks a heck of a lot better now. Now his profile looks good. I still need to do some more work on his mouth. I don't like that area right there. Or right here. I'll work on that. Get back to this. So take a deep breath. Bring this down. And cut that off. You might be able to save a little bit of the mouth up here, but don't worry about that. It's this old chunk right down here that's dragging your carving down. Then your hair, you'll be able to take off some of this back here. And your whole head will drift down to the body more and become just a little bit smaller, but it'll look a lot better, I think. It really shows up here, the big jaw. And you need that line there. But again, if you brought that up, it would just look better, in my opinion. Okay? So anyway, that's the lesson for today. Now we'll get back to carving again. Okay, getting back to this one. What we're going to do, hopefully I can get one braid in here. Take his head off. We got to carve a platform for the braid to go on. All right, this braid, his head has turned just a little. I always like to turn my heads. Makes things more interesting. That braid is going to come off and come down this way. So I need to carve a platform for it here. That should be it. This braid here, get the head positioned again. Will come off and drift down right over that direction. So that's not quite right. It needs to come off somewhere. That's about right, I think. I hope. It might come off and hang down that way. That way I'll expose more of the beaded strip. So let's work on this one here. Okay. I use a real thin piece of wire. This is just old speaker wire or something laying around here. I don't know what exactly it is, but anyway, it's just a thin piece of wire. Scrap laying around here from rewiring something that this was left over. So I'm going to get me a drill, small drill here. I'm going to drill a little hole in here, right in the middle there. Alrighty. Put him back together there. Take my wire. Take my wire, place it in there, and I mash it down right there. And then I'm going to bend it down over the edge of this. Takes a little while to do this. A little bit more there. there. That's close enough for what I'm going to do. Now this wire is the bottom line of the braid, as you will see. Piece of paper here, I'll show you. So there's the platform. I've drilled my hole. I've bent my wire where it comes down, and then it's, let's say this is the robe here. It's coming down like this, and it's following that. So when I cut my piece of wood, it's going to start here and here, and allow for some slop. So I got plenty of material to take off, okay? So now I can take my wire out, like that. Find me a piece of wood, which I already did earlier. There's some scrap left down in my pile. The reason I make my braids separate is because it gives extreme strength to the piece. And they're not going to break off. And they open up the carving to space coming in from different areas. Like I've got space here, nice space underneath this braid, how it lays over the other pieces. It just looks good. I really like it. See this one here, I dropped it down behind. We might even do that on this one. We'll just see. So anyway, so I lay this down on my board here, and this is where it hits that like that. So then I just cut my braid, draw my braid in here. Like that, okay? Now there's slop, like I say, slop, extra wood in here that's going to allow me to make some changes. And I might even be making changes up here on the robe to accommodate this braid. We'll see what happens after I cut it out. I'm going to cut it out about as thick as I did, as wide as it is up here. I'll make it just about that thick, okay? So I'll go cut that out and come back. And we'll, okay, I've got my piece of wood here. What I'm going to do now is just kind of round it off a little. In this area up here where it hits the okay, I can see you got a bump there. This takes, sometimes it goes real quick, sometimes it don't go very quick at all. It just takes a while to match things up. but you'll end up with a much nicer carving the longer you take to do these things. Looks pretty good, except for just a big dot in here. Sorry if my head gets in the way. That one little area right here. Bump right there. Come on now, what's going on here? This braid is making him want to look straight forward, and I don't want him to do that. Oh, come on, you bugger. I'm going to lose my carving. So excuse me just a minute. Okay, looks like I got it here. He's going to be looking forward just a little bit more than I'd have liked, but it'll be okay. Sometimes the wood determines on what you're doing. So anyway, I've got that now. So, putting on my carving glove again. I'm going to go ahead and round this out the rest of the way. Got an ice storm going on outside. Roads are slick. Still pretty heavy. Like I say, it takes a little while. There we go. All right, I want my braid to wrap to about right here. What is some bleeding here out there? Let's see, that looks good. Actually, I think I'll move it down to about here. give them a little definition to the braid. You don't want to look just like a straight piece of wood. Okay, I think we're going to have to continue this on in the next video. We're running out of time here. I don't want this thing to last all day. So we'll come back in the next video and finish this braid up and hopefully start the next one.